What's up, everyone? My name's Carter, and welcome to the Slow and Clear podcast by What's Up English. Firstly, I want to ask you, have you ever watched a video about learning how to learn English? A video, for example, teaching you a method about how to learn 1,000 vocabulary words or how to become fluent in 6 months. One of those videos. Chances are you probably have seen one of those videos. So now let me ask you, have those videos helped you to learn English? For most of you, the answer is probably not really. You've probably seen the videos and they had a method that is actually interesting and useful, but you probably didn't use that method. Or you maybe used it once or twice, but then you stopped. And after some time, you were still in the same spot with your English. And this is kind of like a trap. It's like a bad cycle of learning a technique on how to learn English, not really using the technique, and then watching another video, how to learn English, and just repeating that again and again and getting nowhere. So in this video, in this podcast, I'm going to tell you how to break out of that rabbit hole of learning how to learn English, and instead I'll show you how to actually learn English. And spoiler alert, those methods to learn English can be useful, but you don't actually need them to learn English. So the thing with those videos is when you see that video, the title, the thumbnail, it seems very exciting and you feel like, oh, yes, how to learn vocabulary without forgetting it. This is what I need, right? So you click the video and you feel excited. And the technique in the video is probably actually really useful and it works. So you watch the video, you tell yourself that, okay, this is going to help me. I'm going to start doing this method. Maybe you write some notes and then you feel like you are productive and you're motivated to learn English. But then life happens, you get busy. Maybe you used the method the first day or for a few days. But then things happen, you skip a few days, and eventually you stop using the method that you learned and you go back to where you were before. And at that point, the cycle kind of repeats. So you lose motivation, you stop learning English, and then maybe a few weeks later, you see another video, how to da-da-da. And then it happens again, right? You're like, oh, the other methods, those didn't work, but this one is going to work. And I totally understand this feeling because it's not just for English. It's for literally any skill or anything you are trying to improve. And the thing with these videos is that it can actually build some frustration inside you because it makes you feel like you've tried everything, right? Oh, I've tried this method, I've done this, but for some reason, English still won't stick in my head. And these videos, they give you that boost of motivation and they can be addictive because when you watch a video, how to learn English, it makes you feel like you learned some English and you made some progress. But the reality is, the hard truth is that it probably didn't help you at all, especially if that video was in your native language. So if you watched a video in Vietnamese about how to learn English, and then you don't really use the method, then you literally didn't really learn any English at all. But sometimes it will feel like you did. By the way, if you can understand a lot of this podcast, but you're still having trouble with speaking, then make sure to check out my complete American English pronunciation course. In that course, I won't only teach you all 44 sounds in the IPA, but I will also help you use them in real situations. Many people have learned the sounds in the IPA, but they still can't speak those sounds when they try to speak English. And that's because they've learned the sound, but they haven't practiced it enough. And that's why in this course, I've included hundreds of practice words and example sentences that are super useful in daily life. So we give you the knowledge and the practice to actually improve your pronunciation. If this course is interesting to you, then just scan this QR code right here or click the link in the description below. Check it out. I think you will love it. Okay, let's get back to the podcast. So the problem with doing this is that you spend a lot of time learning how to learn instead of actually learning. And when those methods don't work for you, it makes you feel like you can't do it. Like, oh, if none of these methods work, then maybe my brain just doesn't work. Maybe my brain cannot learn English. If this person became fluent in 6 months and I've been trying to learn for like years, then there must be something wrong with me, right? But that is not true. And that's one of the biggest problems with these videos. And so one of the funny things is, and I'm going to talk about this a little more later in the podcast, is that you listening to this video right now in English is likely improving your English more than watching those videos on how to learn English and not actually applying the methods. This video right now, I've been talking for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And so that is a lot of words and a lot of sentences that have gone into your brain, right? So when you hear words that you understand, the connection in your brain is becoming stronger. When you hear sentences you understand, your brain is automatically recognizing the patterns of the sentences and you're learning grammar naturally. You're improving your listening skills, you're improving your vocabulary, you're improving all of these various skills just by listening to me speak English right now. By the way, I'm starting to sweat. You might be able to see that because my air conditioner right now, it's really loud when I turn it on. So I can't have it on while I'm recording. So gradually my room is just getting hotter and hotter, especially with these lights. So yeah, you might see that I'm sweating. It's not super comfortable, let me tell you. So anyway, going back to why these videos on how to learn English are so popular is because it's in our human nature to look for the easiest way possible to do something, kind of like a magic solution to accomplish something. And when we are unable to accomplish something like learn English, we feel like there must be some knowledge, some method that we're missing. And videos about those methods get a lot of views because it's easier for people to learn a method in 5 or 10 minutes than to actually spend the hundreds of hours of listening and reading and speaking that it actually takes to learn English. And soon I'm going to tell you what to do instead, but I just want to clarify that I'm not saying that those English learning methods don't work, because many methods you can learn on YouTube are actually very useful, and some are even scientifically proven, like flashcards and things like that. They do work, but there are just so many of them, and most people, let's be honest, are not going to follow those methods. So you have so many different methods. You learn this one, you learn that one, and you're not sure which one to stick to. So you bounce around and you never make the real progress that you want. And I see a lot of people who email me, who contact me directly, saying that they've tried this and that, but nothing works. And so I know there are a ton of people stuck in this cycle of learning how to learn instead of actually learning. So again, very soon I will tell you what I recommend to actually learn. But before I do that, I just want to give you some real experience to help motivate you. And that is that pretty much every person, every English learner that I have met who speaks English fluently, like really well, I always ask them, how did they learn? And 99%, maybe even 100% of them told me that they learned the basics in school, but they couldn't speak, right? So they learned the grammar and very basic things in school. But then after they finished school, they couldn't speak, but they were interested in watching YouTube and Netflix and stuff like that. So they learned their English basically all from input, from watching YouTube videos, from Netflix. I have never met a person who used some particular method like flashcards, which is useful, but I have never met anyone who speaks fluently that used that method. What I'm trying to say is that while those methods are useful, you do not need to have some secret method or some special method to learn English. But instead, what you need is a lot of exposure to English. You need to listen a lot, read a lot, and speak as often as what is possible for you, what is realistic for you. So even listening to this podcast right now is really good for your English. If you're listening and understanding, it's improving your vocabulary, your grammar, and even your pronunciation. You can improve your pronunciation even more if you shadow along. So basically, just listening to content like this, podcasts, TV shows, reading, consuming that content in English will improve your skills. You don't need to specifically study grammar rules to learn grammar. You can just learn like a baby through what is now becoming more popular called comprehensible input, meaning that you listen to English or you read English that you understand, and your brain will figure out the grammar and the patterns and the vocabulary by itself. That's like how a baby learns English. So guys, to sum up what I'm saying, those videos about how to learn English, some method to learn 1,000 vocabulary words, whatever, they can be very useful if you apply them. However, the problem is that most people don't apply them. Maybe they apply them for a short time and then they stop and then they continue the cycle of learning how to learn instead of just consuming English through videos or books, whatever. And so the main point I'm trying to get across to you is if you have watched a lot of those videos and you're still struggling with English, set 20 minutes per day to simply engage with English content. You can spend 20 minutes listening to English, like my podcast or anything else in English, as long as it's English. Or you could spend that 20 minutes reading. But what's important is that you do it consistently. So if you can find something that you actually think is interesting, then you're more likely to do it consistently. Whereas if you have a method that you don't really enjoy doing, you're likely not going to do it for a long time. You're not going to do it consistently. So spend 20 minutes each day and just listen or read, engage with English. If you can, communicate with people in English as much as you can. I can pretty much guarantee that if you stay consistent with listening and reading and speaking when you can, you will make much better progress than if you are just stuck in a cycle of learning how to learn, trying the method, failing, losing motivation, and then restarting the cycle again and again. There is no secret magical method that works. The thing that really works is getting input, and those methods can be a bonus for you, like a supplement. So yeah, I hope this video was useful for you. Consume English content, read, listen every day, and your English will get better. Just stick to it and don't give up. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.